Steve Sarkisian believes this Texas football team is different, even saying some of its elite players compare favorably to those that he coached on the 2020 Alabama National Championship team. It's Texas, though. Should we believe him? What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year-round. If you're into that, hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Answer the question in the comments below. Do you believe that we should believe Steve Sarkisian when he talks about what he expects from this 2026 National Championship team? This is a Steve Sarkisian's got a little pep in his step, a little giddy up in his walk after seeing what he craves seeing at the first practice they had in this spring window. And it's it's a bit of what we come to expect from Texas. They've got elite players. They've always had elite players. And last year thought they were going to win the national championship. Ranked them number one like a lot of other people. And they fell short of that. But when he talked to On 3, he feels that maybe perhaps we're just a year ahead. A couple of really interesting quotes in this piece by Chris Lowe that I want to point you to. But the first one is, I was like, this feels like it used to feel like, and we didn't had that always. It's talking about just how this is different. Just the competition that they had, the veteran leadership they have. And we're also talking about a program that has been up more than it's been down with Steve Sarkisian as his head coach. And it has had some generational talent come through. And I'm not talking about Arch Manning. I'm talking about Bijan Robinson, among others. I'm talking about Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons. We can keep going. And he's turned over the defensive coordinator in going from Pete Kwiatkowski, who I think is an outstanding play caller, to Will Muschamp, who has Texas Longhorn fans' heart, because that dude is all grit, all get after it, and really doesn't like anybody's excuses. But one of the things that I think we should point to more often is that 2020 Alabama team, because it's, I think, the best college football team of all time. I've said this. It's better than 2019 LSU because the defense is actually, a defense, whereas the one at LSU was fine, but that offense was just intergalactic. So you could give up 28 to Oklahoma, 63-28. I don't think 2020 Alabama gives up 28 to that Oklahoma team. I think they hold them scoreless. They're better than 2018 Alabama. They're better than 2012 or 2014, 2013 Florida State. They're just that good. Better than 2023 Michigan. Better than 95 Nebraska. I can keep going here, especially given the circumstances that they overcame. That program went 13-0 and beat 12 of its opponents by double digits. Devontae Smith won the Heisman Trophy because he had 1,856 friggin' receiving yards in 13 games. Jalen Waddle was going to win the Heisman Trophy until he got hurt. People forget this. Waddle was the dude, right? Like Justin Jefferson came along, but Jamar Chase was the dude, with LSU in 2019. Matt Jones just had to stand back there and either hand the ball to Najee Harris or throw it out. I mean, that team was so nasty. That team was so good. And that's why Steve Sarkisian got the head coach job at Texas, because he was the offensive coordinator for that friggin' team. A lot of window dressing, a lot of misdirection. He loved that stuff. A lot of RPO in what they do. 6 first-round picks in 2021 NFL draft coming off of that Alabama team. And yeah, he's not comparing the team to 2020 Alabama, but he is saying that he sees similarities between some of the better players on it and what he's got right now at Texas. The quote that he gave is, "It's the engagement in the competitive spirit on both sides that jumps out." I'll never forget in those years at Alabama with Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, Smitty, Devontae Smith, and those guys could be assholes in a way that they went at the defensive guys, but they respected Pat Surtain. My God, Pat Surtain. They respected Xavier McKinney. My goodness, Xavier McKinney. There was a lot of that, but at the end of the day, they walked off the field together. That's what it feels like. Talking about what it feels like at Texas right now. He went further to say, I would say probably for the first time, I feel like we have the top level talent across the board, position by position on both sides of the ball. But yet we also have the depth behind it and also across the board. I felt we've had it years where we've been elite at a couple positions and maybe we hadn't had anything behind it. And it would have been really scary to think what would have happened if certain guys went down. Now, I think some of this is interesting because the 2020 Alabama team did not have to deal with name, image, and likeness. As a matter of fact, it's the last national championship team that did not have to deal with name, image, and likeness. Name, image, and likeness comes on board July 2021. Had Alabama had to go through name, image, and likeness, maybe you see some of this team, particularly its depth, get hollowed out because that's what's happened across the board. Programs are not as deep as they once were, and the best programs are only about half as good as they might have been in years past because you could stock load the talent and you could have 6 or 7 guys across, defensive and offensive positions that could be first round picks anywhere else that are number 2s, number 3s on your depth chart. But at Texas, one of the things that they needed to get done in this new age was find out which one of their young guys was going to be an older guy and how many of their young guys could play right away and contribute in a big way. As a matter of fact, he gave this quote. It's forced some younger guys to play. And I'm like, we're going to be okay if Ryan Wingo couldn't play one Saturday or Trevor Gooseby couldn't, or knock on wood, if Arch couldn't play, KJ Lacey would be fine. I don't know that that's where I would take it, but he is head coach and he is offense coordinator, quarterbacks coach. Maybe he knows something. But adding Cam Coleman, adding Raleek Brown, Rasheem Billis, he went and said, we're talented, but we have really good depth. He's focusing on saying we have really good depth. They got 43 new players on this roster. I hope they're adding depth and I hope they're adding competition because that's what it's going to take for Texas to get what it wants and go where it needs to go. Defensively, they also got some hitters. Like they got 2 dudes that are Texas in a way that you read about, Will Muschamp being one of them, the other being Blake Gideon, who was safety on that 2009 team that got sunned by Alabama. Also had a pick in that game. Look, I genuinely believe that Texas has the goods to be good, to be great. And I've thought that for some time, even, joining the SEC. But last year, they didn't make the college football playoff after making it in 2024. They made it to the semis. Really great game against Arizona State. And then, fell to Ohio State, the eventual national champion. Then they start as number 1 team in the AP. And, in there, they take a really bad loss to a bad Florida team. And that really sullies their reputation when it comes to selecting them for the college football playoff. They have and have had a playoff roster for the last 3 years. It's about, can they get it done? Making the college football playoff when it's 4 teams is still a feat. They did that right there at the end. We expected Texas, Washington to be a better football game. Turned out to be a good football game. But over the last 3 seasons, you could see they're right up against, like, Texas and Oregon are right there. Longhorns have won 35 games. Oregon's won 38. Ohio State's won 37. Georgia's won 36. And Sark he's getting to that point where a lot of people would like to see results. And who's to say this team can't be as good as that 2020 Alabama team? I don't think they can, but I am willing to let them try.